What is going on, everyone? My name is Drew Spencer with the React and Attack Football Podcast, where we try and go over NFL content from all 32 teams every single day. And boy, oh boy, there's always something going on in the NFL world. And if you like what you hear, make sure to like and subscribe. And let's go. A lot of football for me to cover as I've been busy the past few days, but figured I'd jump in about the Niners game. And how sloppy that was. And I want to get into the good aspects of it too, because there's a lot of talk about breaking news as I'm recording. We'll transition into that a little bit later, but I wanted to talk about the gauge of the game and how they were able to succeed at home against a pretty scrappy, but also I'll bet banged up Cardinals team as well. And the first guy I want to talk about is Mac Jones, and for the most part, Mac wasn't anywhere near as dominant as he was in his first showcase against the Saints. But to be fair, I wasn't really expecting him to just have that same level of consistency. Now, here's the thing: Mac, while yes, he struggled mightily throughout a lot of the game, um, he was still able to connect on some nice passes, on some really nice drives, and no doubt about it, that 2 minute drill, just like he did similarly in the first half against the Saints, he was able to do that in crunch time with our backs up against the wall, able to get the team within field goal range to win it, to set up the game winning kick. Um, you know, at the end of the day, Mac Jones was able to come in and play point guard and help us secure another victory, which is all you can ask for a backup quarterback to do, filling in those two times. The some, but there's some positives here as well. As the guy that Mac was connecting to the most was Ricky Pearsall, who has taken an absolute massive jump in this league, and he's basically arrived. He is right now currently third in receiving yards after his 8 catch, 117-yard performance yesterday. So that's great to see. Can he keep that up the entire? We'll see. But with all the injuries that were going on to start the year and suspensions and whatnot, to see Ricky really step up and be the guy, be these past few games, it's been terrific to see. Um, Shout out to Eddie Pinero. I don't think we win this game with Jake Moody. uh, he slices a 51-yard field goal at one point, and then obviously a very clutch kick to win the game there in the final winding down seconds of the game. So, I mean, hey, man, like we made the right move there, it seemingly. And hey, just make some kicks, man. We're not asking you to be Brandon Aubrey or anything. Just hey, if it's a 40-yard, 35-yard kick, can we just get it? And he was been able to do it. So it's been nice to see. The rest of the offense, with when it comes to Christian McCaffrey, I mean, the Cardinals, they dug in, they stacked the box, they dared Mac Jones to throw, and for a lot of the game, was a pretty good tactic. They really did a number on trying to halt CMC, but again, like I said, these stack boxes, they were really trying to limit him, and it basically came at the very end of the game where he was able to finally break off a nice piece of running and uh, set us up for that drive to get us into field goal range to win. So a lot of people I saw online were freaking out about Christian McCaffrey and saying, "Oh, is he washed?" Or anything. Dude, guys, he's been great these past few games, and just wait until Brock Purdy's able to come back, and Demarcus Robinson should be able to come back. I'm just saying. Meanwhile, the defense, they did such an amazing job, man. Robert Sala has been getting this unit to be absolutely cooking. And even with the offensive struggles and things, and don't get me wrong, the defense wasn't completely perfect, um, but they did such a good job. I feel, this off the top of my head, but I feel like the Niners have just been really over the years to mobile quarterbacks, kind of our weak point. But even though Kyler got his, and we did a really nice job containing him today overall, and that really was the difference maker. And I mean, outside of we got lucky, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. dropped a wide open pass for a touchdown. That helped save us. But outside of that play, I don't really think there was any egregious, oh man, these defensive guffaws that put us back by any stretch of imagination. You know, Fred Warner continues to be an absolute monster. In the second to last drive of the game, gets his hands up, knocks it down at the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and long. Huge, huge, huge right there. Fred just, again, 11 tackles, just flies around and destroys people. So I can talk about Fred all day, but guy who really stepped up, getting the kind of the seal in the game essentially was rookie Upton Stout, who I talked a little bit about last week, and he's not hurt. He comes and plays, and he gets his hand to break up the final play of the game, which would have resulted in the first down, which resulted, the Cardinals to keep moving and everything. Nope, he basically seals it right there by punching it out the last possible second. Just an awesome play, dude. This guy's incredible. I get why he fell in the draft. Kind of worried about his height and concerns, but God, man, he is crazy. Understanding what to do in coverage and attacking the ball. I mean, sure, he might have a couple mental lapses here or there from play to play, but I mean, if you're a corner and you're doing the sticky coverage and you are looking to attack the football and not just the player, I think that's great instinct from day one, man. So extremely happy about that. And then another guy I really want to talk about that's been stepping up defensively and living in the backfield, especially these last 2 weeks, has been Mikel Williams, our first round pick. He's been great in the run defense, but I feel like he's gotten even more extra pressure, and it's been amazing. And boy, oh boy, do we really need him and Huff to step up in that department because the breaking news is pretty bad. The breaking news being that Nick Bosa, the star pass rusher, one of the best players on the 49ers, tore his ACL. His season is now over. The good news, the positive news for this is that it was apparently a clean tear of the ACL, which means that should be easier for him to, go into surgery without any extra complications. It should be easier for them to, the doctors to do the right things necessary and hopefully can, get Nick Bosa and be on back on track as healthy and as possible and have as quick as a recovery as he can. But Nick Bosa, and another positive is that this is not in the same leg that he tore his previous ACL in back in 2020 against the Jets in Week 2. So there is a little bit of silver lining, but at the end of the day, man, it sucks. I mean, this sucks. I mean, what is it? What is it at this point with the injuries? And it's just it seems over and over and over. I keep talking about the Niners, and yes, we're 3-0, but it's like, damn, like taking a taking a loss like this, it almost pulls away from the victory. Like, I'm not saying that because I mean a win against a division or rival and the way that we did it and like everyone coming together and we won that game without Nick Bosa for majority of it, which is again nice to say, and that's the reason why I don't want to be all doom and gloom. But God, man, I really, Nick Bosa, I've been saying with our pass rush, it's been him or bust, right? Like now, as much as I am hoping for Mikel Williams and Huff and the rest of these guys to get into their groove, and I know it's so early on, and they definitely can. And this is just it just really does suck, man. I mean, the way that Saleh has kind of organized and orchestrated this defense has been for Nick Bosa to basically pin his ears back and get to the guy. And even though his stats aren't showing up on the sheet, if you're trying to box score, watch, he is doing all the heavy lifting of our pressure. He is, I mean, so for him to go down, and again, we did win without him, right, for most of the game. But this is just a brutal loss, and there's really no way around it. I think all Niner fans can attest to this. We lost a lot of our teeth to our bite essentially for our defense without having Nick Bosa. Does that mean that someone else can't step up and take another leap? Of course not. Like I've alluded to, man, Michael Williams has been looking good. These it's early on, But yeah, it's just the hits keep coming, man. Um, for Niner fans, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's how we train throughout it. I don't know if it's just bad luck or combination of multiple things. It's just depressing. So moving forward, at the end of the day, guys, the Niners are 3-0. We should be happy about that. I mean, all this does suck, but we got to look at things ahead, guys. Brock Purdy's coming back. He was practicing all week uh, heading into this game, but wasn't 100% to go. We put in Mac Jones, who I didn't say this earlier, but Mac Jones actually re aggravated an injury that he had, I believe, in his ankle that he had in training camp with us prior to the season. And yeah, we don't want to be sidelined at any more quarterbacks. So hopefully Brock Purdy can get just, hopefully this is the amount of time that he needed for his injury and he's able to get right back into things because, you know, we need him obviously, but we also have some other silver linings. Demarcus Robinson coming off his suspension that he served. Um, he hasn't really been able to gel too much with this team, but I mean, having more depth at this point for this receiving core, for another guy for Brock Purdy to throw to. I mean, there's things to look up at with. I felt the O line, even though they struggled a little bit, they're putting it together more. As I really am not trying to give up on these things too much. It's just, yeah, but huge game against Jacksonville coming up, and then a bigger game against LA. Hopefully by that time, Brock Purdy and this team can get a little bit more healthy. But yeah, uh, what can I say, man? Sucks about Nick Bosa, but you got to take the positives and the negatives with everything. So while the Niners being 3-0, got a lot of work ahead of us. So, yep, go Niners.